head-to-head here in our first match. In yellow, Dave Ferraro, back-to-back appearances on our telecast, and one of the 3 Triple Crown winners. There he is, only 29 years old, a colorful, the man that can concentrate with that high backswing, Pete Weber. Okay, trying to defend his title. He won, as Bo and Dell told you a year ago, after that error made by our scorekeeper, Del Ballard. We pick the good ones, don't we? Oh, tough break for the 6-time champion from Kingston, New York, Dave Ferraro.
Ferraro with an ideal 5-step delivery. He has a couple of things that happen in his approach that are very important. Number one, he's in perfect position right here. You see the perpendicular movement of his arm. Then he locks his leg at the foul line, and Ferraro, being 5 feet 7 inches tall, would not get away with that if he didn't have the good loft.
All right, so Dave, who finished 5th last week in the True Value at Landmark Lanes in Peoria, has an open frame. The 1990 Firestone Tournament of Champions winner. He won that as the top seed. He's 4th seeded today, Bo.
Ferraro has a normal position on the lane. He's right about the center. He's going to slide around the middle. He's going to be between the 1st and 2nd arrows. Check this line. His ball will be out in this area. Not much hook.
Not to be. 10-pin on the left lane.
This championship here, we set up the oil pattern, but there's a little bit different characteristics with these lanes compared to what we saw Del Ballard bowl on last year. Last year, they were synthetic lanes. These are wood lanes. The left lane hooks a little bit more.
It's a game where sometimes it helps to use body language, body moves. It's an 11-pin lead by Pete Weber, whose dad, Dick Weber, will be honored at the 3rd Salute to Champions in St. Louis tomorrow night, benefiting the National Bowling Hall of Fame and Museum. His dad won 31 titles with shots like that.
See the style, the unique style of Pete Weber, 5-step delivery. He gets that ball to the top of the swing. Now look at how his wrist is cocked. His arm is in line with his right foot, and then as he pushes off with that right pivot step, drives down into a perfect finish, and he's off to a perfect start. 2 strikes in a row. Solid 10. Weber's got everything to gain and nothing to lose. He looks like he was dismally out of the top 5 with just 2 games to go last night. And then he bowled a 255 against Ron Palombi in his very final game to sneak into the top 5. So he's got everything to gain.
Here's a young man, 4th professional bowler to pass the $1 million mark in earnings. And as he says, he's just beginning, and Dave Ferraro feels the same. Dave is 32 years old, physically fit. Darn it, a high hit for Dave, who today is just having all kinds of problems.
Well, David has to be a little bit frustrated in the last couple of years. He's won the Firestone Tournament of Champions, and as you see his delivery right here, going a little high. After he won the Firestone Tournament of Champions, he went 0 wins and 8 losses in the championship round, and he's a real winner, so he's looking and searching for the answer.
Another open. Dave Ferraro shared earlier the best bowling tip he has ever received.
Well, it's a thing called the dot game, which I use during practice. You line up on every dot on the approach, and you play every arrow on the lane, and this enables you to play every angle, and which is a necessity out here.
And he uses that during practice. Every dot is lined up with one of the pins, the 10, the 6, the 3 in the head pin, the 2, 4, and 7.
So it's another 10-pin on the left thing.
The dots on the approaches and are lined up with the arrows and the pins on the lane. So there they are out there on the lane, 7 feet, lined up with the arrows, down to the pins, Ferraro following it to make the 10.
We're in our very first match at Fairlanes in Woodlawn, suburb of Baltimore. We'll be back. Dave Ferraro breaking the concentration, so he's going to step off, and he's doing the right thing, Bo.
Well, I think it's one of the photographers in the back, Chris. They have some holes cut through his screen, and he was moving, and with his peripheral vision picked it up. Smart move. Now he's ready, resets himself, leads by 34, fourth frame.
He's complaining about his speed.
Yeah, we could hear it all the way up here. He just backed off the speed, that high backswing. He decelerated as he came down. He has the 4.67. He'll just go for the 4.7.
Okay, and he chops the 4 off. Pete Weber, in the shadow of legends of Roth and Anthony, talks about his possible domination in the 90s.
Well, anything's possible. It would be nice to dominate in the 90s, but with the caliber of bowlers coming out today, it's going to be really tough. I'm really going to have to work hard and get a few good breaks to do it.
If anybody can, he can. His act is together, and he's ready. We have a 3-6.
Chris, he's letting Dave Ferraro off the hook. I've watched the match play many, many times in the top 24, and Ferraro has kind of had Weber's number in the 24-game match play that we have on Thursday night and Friday in the championship round. But right now, Weber's given Ferraro a chance to get back in the championship match.
Okay, and Pete thought he had chopped another one. It's amazing when concentration is broken, what it can do to you. Even as a commentator, somebody taps me while I'm talking, I lose it. And I understand what you pros go through.
That's for sure.
4-pin.
One thing to critique Dave Ferraro, and I've watched him very closely in the tournaments he's bowled this year, is he has a little more speed. He's a little more aggressive during the regular tournament. Here you see him a little bit softer, ball drifting just a pinch high, leaving the 4-pin. An extra half a mile of speed or an extra 3 or 4 inches of loft over the foul line, that ball would have held pocket and struck.
Meet Winston-Salem's popular professional, Curtis Odom. Still trying for that first victory, 7 regional titles, a lot of ability. And then Dave the Intremont, and our tournament leader is a non-winner named Bob Learn Jr. from Erie, Pennsylvania.
Ferraro uses the full grip. He's what we call the fingertip grip, or full grips. Just sticks the fingers into the first knuckle, inserts the thumb, has a pretty conventional down the line, good wrist action.
Again.
And a little wide on that shot. The second thing to think about here, we set up that these are the farthest the PBA lane maintenance crew has oiled lanes all year long. 45 feet is quite a distance down the lane. And it really kind of favors a guy like Ferraro if he could point the ball up to the pocket. The hook ball bowlers could have some trouble when they can't get the ball to hook back. So let's see if Ferraro could get it going.
Remember, he trails by 21 after 2 open frames, has yet to flush one for a strike. So the 21-pin lead by Pete Weber, who will be shooting in the 6th frame with a spare. Yields off the approach. Smooth. Oh, that was hanging on Dell's area.
But he was out in the Ballard area, and right now he started that ball right between the first and second arrows, and he went out, as you said, Chris, towards the Ballard board and into the 1-3 pocket. Weber gets a really nice shot here as you see the ball driving all 10 pins out. Weber could extend his lead to 31 with a strike here in the 7th.
And he does it. Look at that concentration. Competitor, none more concentrating. We'll be back. 78 to 279.
Won't be that high this time, but he still has a chance to win this match, but he has to strike on this ball. A potential 193.
His best year was in 1988. 6 telecasts, he won twice, both in Ohio, earning $150,395. And there's the hand of Pete Weber, fiddling nervously.
Working with his thumb, making sure that all the protection still stays on. And this match is not locked up yet. If Ferraro strikes here, Weber will have to mark. Not to be, as a dejected Ferraro kicks the approach. He'll be 182 with a spare. It looks like it's going to be Weber against Curtis Odom in the second match.
Pete Weber won the 1987 Firestone, first of his 3 Triple Crown wins. And as we mentioned, this man, Dave Ferraro, did it in 1990. That's the one they really like to win, because it was the tournament that gave him credibility way back. Hitting a 9-pin on the right lane as Curtis Odom continues to stay low. You hear the pinfall from his practice shots off to the right.
Pete Weber with a spare here in the 10th, and a full count strike would be 203. Ferraro's finished with 182.
So Pete Weber has taken 1 step toward the defense of his championship. We'll have his final score in a little bit. He'll meet Curtis Odom here in Baltimore at Fairlanes Woodlawn. ABC Sports presentation. The Pro Bowlers Tour will return after this message and a word from our local station.